All right. Hey, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's
roll, man.
Welcome to ImVibes Podcast, home of good music, good libations, and good vibes. Now here is your host, Eric Millets, and producer, Ernest Stevenson.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of ImVibes Podcast. Welcome to ImVibes Podcast. That's how I should have said that. Kind of fucked it up. Oh well. Anyways, we're back at you know where, home sweet home, Tommy's Pub. Got the drinks going. Hell yeah, of course. And got me a little Sailor Jerry today. Nice. I normally drink Jameson when I'm here, but I change it up. If you can tell by the music that's playing, we have some very special guests in the house tonight. Two members of Love It to Death, Kelsey and Steve.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for coming on. So we're going to do a Alice Cooper episode tonight, man. Okay. What are you guys drinking? Kelsey.
Ladies first.
What are you drinking?
I'm having a tequila sunrise.
Ooh. He's drinking.
I'm having I would like to call it a Smithwick, but actually it's a Swiddick. Swiddick. So I went to Mount Pleasant, so this is like blowing my mind. But anyway, I learned something today.
Wait, Mount Pleasant, North or South Carolina?
North Carolina.
Or Mount Pleasant, Michigan?
North Carolina.
Okay. All right. Sorry.
See, 2 stoplights.
Yeah.
Stanley County.
Ernest, what do you got over there, man? I thought I saw something new in your.
Yes, I do have something new. This is a new IPA from Birdsong Brewing that utilizes some New Zealand hops. It's called My Precious IPA.
My Precious.
Yeah. Which, all that was filmed in New Zealand, so.
That makes sense. Yeah, I guess that's where the name came from. Then.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then, of course, my
Quality House.
That's some good stuff.
My 2-year-old bourbon.
Yeah. I've been Friday night. Someone brought over some Bushmills aged in sherry berries, sherry barrels, dude.
Sherry Berry's the elevator lady.
Yeah, used to be. She passed away.
She did.
Rest in peace, Sherry Berry. Yeah,
she passed away.
Sherry Berry passed away.
I got in an elevator the other day and I felt unsafe.
Yeah,
some dude.
You're reading it. And you're like, who the fuck is this guy?
I had a retirement party.
That was a long time ago, actually. That was probably like 2 or 3 years ago, I think.
That's when she retired.
Well, maybe she retired and then.
Maybe so.
Well.
Anyways,
that's a downer. Let's talk about something else.
Well, upper and downer.
No, you missed it, Ernest.
Elevator.
Which is it?
I know I'm on the wrong page.
Oh, whatever. Anyway.
Going down?
Aerosmith. Oh, speaking of Aerosmith, I got my tickets. I'm going to see Aerosmith.
Well, I had mine and I let them go back. And now that they've decided to come back, I can't decide if I want to. I don't trust it's going to happen.
See, I always have been a huge Aerosmith fan. I've never seen them live.
Right.
So,
oh, yeah, you are. Well, you need to keep them then.
Yeah.
I let mine go back. I was like,
I bought it. Well, I was going to buy them when they were on sale the first time, before Steven lost his voice.
Yeah.
And then, he lost his voice. I said, well, fuck it. I guess it's not going to happen. And from what I was told and from what I heard, the tour was not going to happen. Steven's voice was destroyed. Not going to happen. I could buy better seats for the Raleigh show, but that's like 8 shows after Charlotte. So I'm like, I'm with you. If it happens, maybe 2 or 3 days, because that's the third date on the tour, Charlotte. Past that, who knows what's going to happen.
Scary,
so I was like, you know what? I'm not going to chance not buying it for Charlotte and waiting for Raleigh.
There must be some breakthrough on vocal repair because Brian Johnson came back too.
Yeah, I mean it's not even been a year since he was off. So I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure about all that, but I mean, I'm hoping it's.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm skeptical when it comes to that kind of stuff.
I don't know. That's what I've been hearing.
That
they're going to AC/DC will be back on tour.
Yeah, I've heard they're touring. I've said this quite a few times on the podcast. Brian Johnson is my parents' neighbor down in Tampa, Florida.
Yep.
And I keep telling them, they're like, who? I'm like, the lead singer of AC/DC lives the next block over. They're like, oh, yeah,
I never saw them to the Black Ice tour, and it was one of the best shows I ever saw in my life. And I'm like, oh my God, I missed it all.
Well, oh, yeah.
I mean, I saw that show.
That was the loudest concert I've ever attended.
Thunderstruck was the loudest show that I ever been to.
I used to work for a music store back in the day, and in a week's time, my wife and I went and saw U2, Eric Clapton, and AC/DC, all like 3 days apart. And after AC/DC, I'm sure the other 2 concerts prior to didn't help, but our ears were ringing for like a week afterwards. Man, it was like Angus Young went out in the middle of the crowd and did his little solo. You couldn't tell what the hell he was playing. It was so loud. It was just shriek of him just going, come on, man.
But it was amazing.
And see, back then, everything was so much, everything was really high anyway. They didn't put much low end in their mix.
That was like late 90s, early 2000s back then.
That was the same way with, it was AC/DC, Iron Maiden, and Judas Priest.
Yeah.
And I thought I was permanently deaf after that.
Mm-hmm. I have that problem. So me and Ernest, was it last Wednesday, went and saw the Toasters?
Yeah.
At the Milestone. Yeah. That was a great show.
That was a great show.
I don't know if you guys like ska music, but then we went to
I like some of it.
Went to go see the Toasters.
Third wave ska.
Corporate Fandango.
They were good. The Unsustainables.
The Unsustainables and Southside Punks, man.
And then they put me in one punk band in there.
Yeah. Well, that was awesome. Well, you got to include some member of No Anger Control in that
every
show.
Milestone show?
Yes. I think, you know what? There's not many shows I've been to that didn't have some member of No Anger Control playing in some band. Yeah. Anyways, let's get to our topic for today. Mr. Alice Cooper, born to Vincent Damon.
I'm thinking it's Fernier.
I want to say Fernier.
Fernier. Okay, I was going to say it.
Fernier.
So I corrected him earlier about it. Say Smithwick. So we just kind of.
So we're even on the scale.
Yeah, we're even.
Or could it be Fernet?
Born February. I was calling him Ferner, so
Mark Ferner.
Yeah, Vincent Damon. It's cool that his last name's Damon, though. Like it's kind of like it.
Interesting.
It is. Yeah. Born February 4th, 1948, and where? Detroit, Michigan.
Yes.
Later on, they moved
Arizona.
To Phoenix, Arizona, with his parents. I didn't know his dad was a minister.
His dad and his grandfather.
Yeah. Alice's career spans over 60 years. The dude was 1948. He's 70 something. Mm-hmm. He's still kicking it, man.
Yeah,
he's still kicking ass. Yeah, I saw him not too long ago. That's where the shirt came from. I've seen him like 3 times.
Were you at the Spartanburg show?
No, I wasn't.
Okay,
I saw him here in town at the Uptown Amphitheater. That was a great show. I've seen him over for Iron Maiden once. And then I saw him, the most memorable show I saw him at was Bonnaroo.
Right.
So it was kind of fucked up because the Red Hot Chili Peppers headlined that night on like the main stage. I lost my wallet during that show, but as we're walking back to camp, Alice Cooper was playing. So we stopped and watched Alice Cooper. He did a Lady Gaga cover. He did Poker Face.
Wow.
For Bonnaroo. And the fucking place went ape shit, dude. Like, no one knew who the fuck was on stage, but they were hearing Poker Face. So, yeah, it was awesome. But he had all his props on stage.
He's like a man of 1,000 faces.
I'm like, I can't even. Yeah, I can't even.
Yeah, we're like, holy shit.
I can't even imagine that.
Man, part of the beauty of him was 60s. He has 60s albums,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
70s, 80s, 90s. So, he's always.
He's older than my parents.
He was either leading the charge or he was a little bit behind.
Right. Yeah.
But him doing Lady Gaga does not surprise me.
No.
Mm-hmm.
It's just,
his bands in the 60s were the Earwigs and the Spiders, right?
Yeah.
That was prior to.
And those first 2 Cooper records were right around that time.
Yeah.
Very late 60s, 70s. So, that's one of the reasons I like doing this band with Kelsey and everybody else is because there's so many styles to choose from.
There is.
It's not a rock band. It's not a metal band. Man, we play ballads. It's just like whatever. There's so much to choose from. It's almost like a songbook.
It is. And when I went and saw you guys, which I got to tell you, I've seen a lot of tribute bands, and I didn't know what to expect going to the show. And I walked in and I saw the stage and I said, "Oh, this is going to be good."
Yeah.
Just all the props on stage and all. Who makes you guys' props?
We can talk about Dave and everything.
So our bass player does a lot of that. Like he made our guillotine, our electric chair. You brought the candelabras and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And you did the trash cans, but Dave painted them, right?
I brought the trash cans in, but Dave takes stuff to another level.
He paints them with the black light paint, and then he puts like the fire in it. And gosh, yeah, it's crazy. It's way better than I had ever expected it to be.
She was never scared to put her head in the guillotine. No. And I'm like, dude, even during practice and stuff, I'm like, I ain't put my finger in that thing.
I remember everybody nervously being like, "Are you sure it's safe, right? It's good?"
I don't remember even saying that.
Well, a lot, like it was like Amanda and Megan kind of, and then I don't remember there was a few other people like, "You're sure it's good? It's good, right?" And I was just like,
it's like a 10-foot, 11-foot tall guillotine.
I know.
It's heavy and it's not,
My problem is I have no fear.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, whatever.
That is not a problem. That is awesome. Don't have any fear. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, there are a lot of people nowadays that are afraid of everything and are offended by everything. So, if that don't scare you, that's fucking badass. I've been wanting to build one for my Halloween yard for years.
Well, we can talk after, and I can give you Dave's number. He can give you exactly how to do it.
I was going to ask you about that. So, yeah, perfect. Yeah.
It's kind of incredible because,
it's incredible, man.
It's seamless, like it looks like it comes,
it does. Right through. It does.
And then Dave, he's the one who also helped me. We live casted my head for the severed head. So we got the bald cap, and I went to his house and we got all the materials, the silicone and the everything. And he put all that stuff on my face, and I had to sit there with all this stuff on my face, couldn't breathe. But like he gave me like these like straws for my nose holes.
Man, I'm telling you, she'd have brought that. You can tell.
I should have brought it.
It's so close, though. It's almost like you waiting on a call.
Because I used to paint dolls. So I was like, because he was talking about, okay, how are we going to paint it? I was like, I got this. And I used to work at Scarewinds. I did makeup too. So I have my airbrush. So I just kind of combined those
Where'd
things.
you work there?
I worked there from 2011 to 2019. Well, 2018.
I worked there in 2019.
Oh, okay. So I wasn't there in 2019. 2018 was my last year. I worked through Winterfest a little bit into 2019, but yeah, I was there for eight years. I didn't do makeup all 8 years. I just did makeup for my last 2 years, but I still.
Yeah. I did Scarewinds once. It was an awesome thing. Well, I work in 8 hours as a blue collar guy, and then going to work until 1 o'clock in the morning.
You should have been there back in the early days. It used to be so cool.
Well, I just hated the day.
I worked there in 95.
Did you?
I don't think we had Scarewinds then.
Yeah, Scarewinds started in 99.
Scarewinds started
you said 95. I'm thinking Windows 95.
When they started Scarewinds, there were still remnants of Smurf Island, I think, and like the island and the boat and all that shit. I'll never forget walking through there and some like leaf brushed up against my leg, and I jumped like 10 feet. My wife's like, "What the fuck's wrong with you? It's a fucking tree." I'm like, I was expecting someone to jump out. I'm sorry.
If you could believe it, I was actually afraid of everything until like I was in high school. I was afraid of Halloween props. Afraid of them. I wouldn't go to Halloween stores because I was like, "Oh my god, why did they jump out at me?" I went to Scarewinds as a guest, and it changed my life. I probably would not be doing this creeper stuff now, but I realized really quickly, like, wait, no, this is fun. I like this.
It's fun.
I didn't get scared. I was really interested in. I was like looking at everything and how it works, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And immediately I was like, "I want to be a part of this." I wasn't old enough yet.
Okay.
I went in 2009, so I just started high school. But I think I've taken a lot of the skills I have learned from working there and putting it towards what I do with Love It to Death.
By the way, I didn't even mention this. Kelsey is the lead singer of Love It to Death. She's a female Alice Cooper tribute singer. I mean, that's fucking badass. I mean, you don't see that too often.
There is a little method to the madness, but she's perfect. I mean, you saw the show. Yeah. But man, we came up with this idea to do this, and we had a couple guys. Sing here and there. And I'm like, man, it just didn't interest me.
No.
And I've been friends with Russ all my life, and probably maybe met you, but I don't know. I mean, acquaintance.
Not that I can remember.
Not that I can remember. And then we were sitting there one day, and Barry plays drums in the band, and Barry's an anti-sing.
Yeah.
And Barry's like, man, Russ's kid can sing. And I'm like, okay, and man, it just went from there, like straight up. It was just like our first practice, second practice, it was like, oh, this is going to be good.
So,
and it turned out good.
I mean, were you nervous going into the sing form?
Oh my God.
In other bands before, or was that your first band?
I had been in one other band, and I don't want to say anything too harshly because it wasn't great. It wasn't the worst ever, but it wasn't great. And it wasn't what I wanted to do. I tried to make it work because I didn't know any different, but I ended up parting ways with them. And when I got in this band, I was kind of like, oh my gosh, this is how it can be. And I know there's a difference when you don't have to write it, I guess. But yeah, I was nervous as heck because I'm kind of socially awkward anyway. And I was kind of new to driving too. And I had to drive all the way to Charlotte from Wingate. And by the time I got there, my nerves were already tore up because I was like, I
think that actually helped.
I think
it made the songs like actually feel like the words.
If you're not nervous about it, you got no soul in it,
And I really wanted to do it. Like, I remember thinking, oh man, this seems really cool. I really want to do this. And I got in there and I was like, okay, just act cool. And then I didn't. But it's okay because I sang the songs and I had really taken it seriously. The songs they sent me, I sat down because I knew some of them, but I didn't know all of them. And I like to know, I don't like to have to look at lyrics when I'm singing. So I try to learn it by heart. So I learned all the songs by heart and I just was like, all right, I got this down. And we went through the songs and I could tell that they were like kind of responding positively to me. And I was thinking, yay! But I was still nervous. And I gave them an out even because I was thinking about going to school in Spartanburg. And I was like, I might be moving to Spartanburg. So it'll be hard for me to come to like a lot of practices. And they're like, that's okay.
Oh, she wasn't getting out.
I was going to say,
they were like, that's okay. We'll work around it.
You ain't going to Spartanburg. No.
And I ended up not doing it.
Even now I guilt her. I'm like, if you know, if you quit, we're done, right? Yeah. No, I'm not going anywhere.
I'm going to do this as long as everybody else wants to do it. I'm having a blast.
Were you a fan of Alice Cooper before you went into the band?
Yes.
Okay.
So when I was a little kid, my dad had these action figures, and among them there was a Wayne's World one. It was like the set. Mm-hmm. And then there was like Texas Chainsaw Massacre with like these body parts and stuff.
That sounds awesome.
There was an Alice Cooper. He had a snake and he had a guillotine and he had like his severed head. And I remember I would look at it and like look at they had like bone coming out of the neck. And I was like, I mean, not even in school yet. I remember looking at this and just be like, ooh, this is cool. Which is ironic because I was terrified we had this cartoony freaking, what is it? Frankenstein monster thing, and it was so cheesy and I was terrified of that. It would turn on and had like these light up red eyes. I was like, no, but the severed head was fine. This is fine. The snakes, whatever. Did not care about that at all. And I remember thinking, this is cool. So years later, I got the internet kind of later on. I know 2007 still pretty early internet, but by then all of my friends already had the internet. I was in middle school. I remember there was an assignment class where we had to do an email thing. I didn't have an email because I didn't have a computer yet. But as soon as we got the computer, I downloaded LimeWire. And
I got in so much trouble with that.
Yeah. Middle school me was like, oh. So one of the first things I looked up was Alice Cooper. And I kind of remembered some songs that Dad had played when I was a kid, but I just downloaded everything I could find. And some of it was trash. Like there's one called like Don't Sleep. I Don't Sleep, the Clowns Will Eat Me or something like that. Can't Sleep. I don't remember.
A lot of that 90s stuff is really bad.
But I remember
there was some good 80s stuff. There was that. Yeah, you're right. Stuff in the 90s was after Hey Stupid. It just got a little bit. Yeah.
I did download things like Sick Things though. That was my favorite one. I loved that one. And I remember I was still in middle school. It was me and my brother were on a trip with my dad. We went to the beach and he starts playing Alice Cooper and he was playing Sick Things. And I start singing along with it. And he was like, how do you know this? And I was like, downloaded it. And he was like, don't let your grandma hear you sing this. She's like, the devil's music, the devil's music.
I'm glad you said that because that's what's kind of interesting about this. If you really think about it, It's a lot of theater.
Yes.
But there's no cussing. Right. I mean, if you think about, if you really, there's no cussing.
It's just,
he doesn't even talk to the audience.
And I don't either, which.
So I told her she said, I'm nervous. I said, well, you don't have to say nothing.
Yeah, I didn't want to. And when they told me you don't have to, I was like,
I'm like, you don't have to go. You don't have to go, hey, how y'all doing? He doesn't do that.
Because in my own band, they were like, you have to say this, you have to say that. I was like,
even now he'll introduce the band, but he never did that.
And his wife,
So she likes that, where she don't have to.
Yeah.
I always tell her, I say, act like it's their privilege to be here, like flipping on them.
Okay, yeah.
So she'll do that.
At the end of the set, I say, you're welcome. That is the only thing I say to the audience. I definitely believe in, tip your bartenders and thank you to the venue. I do believe all that stuff, but like, I don't have to say it.
You don't have to say it.
And because it becomes part of like a thing I have to do. And it's a task. And then my brain goes, don't forget.
It's funny seeing her backstage, like scared to death. And then as soon as we start playing, it's like, she just flips.
Every show, I'm like shitting my pants backstage. Every single show, I'm like, until we get out there. And then I'm just like, all right. My dad said something to me about that last time. He was like, you were like freaking out. And then you get on stage, you could not tell that you had just been like losing your mind. And I was like, thank you. It's called acting.
Let me tell you something. You're just like your dad.
Yeah. He wouldn't like to admit that.
Yeah, I know. It's all right. Anyways, we all know Alice Cooper was the king, or in my opinion, the godfather of shock rock. Before Rob Zombie, before Marilyn Manson, and there are a lot of other bands that are into that shit now. And I think it's I don't want to say a Detroit thing, but it's a thing to be from that area in theatrical rock.
It's like a working class.
It comes along with it. So, there are bands like Ghost, bands like Guar. If you can see my vest right now, I went to go see Guar a few weeks ago after the Beastie Boys episode, I think it was. And my vest is covered in blood and alien semen right now. So, I brought my brother-in-law along to that show. I thought he would really enjoy it. And I dragged him down into the pit, and he saw what was about to happen, and he bailed. I thought he was down there with me the whole time. I told him to wear a white T-shirt.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
And so he came down, and he was like, wait a minute. And then it was funny because this happens to me every goddamn time I go see Guar. If I get in the pit, that is. I come home, sit on the couch, start eating some food or having a drink, and I fall asleep.
Yeah.
Go upstairs, crawl into bed, wake up the next morning. My wife's always like, what in the fuck is all over your arm? What happened to you last night? Oh, you were at Guar. But
I was at the NFL draft.
Yeah. Well, if it was blue, that might be the outside.
That makes me think of this time, the last Tremont show. I took some of the old band I was in, I took some of them with me to that show to see Anti-Scene. And my bass player's wife was like, I'm not going to get blood on me, right? I was like, no.
Don't go next to Jeff. Yeah.
Oh, she did. She was so mad.
And that's actual blood. That's not fake blood. Yeah.
I didn't think she would. I was like, what are the chances, really? And
that's his blood.
I guess I should have considered the chances a little more. So sorry about that.
I'm almost willing to bet Jeff's had a bunch of G.G. Allen blood on him at some point.
So, a lot of different.
He has.
Yeah. Well, and Russ. So yeah.
Well, that's one reason. That's one reason it's cool having Barry in the band, because Barry can tell us all these stories.
Russ has some cool ass stories about. G.G. Allen.
Yeah.
It's kind of. I love that though, because I love hearing these stories, because I wasn't, around for that. So getting to hear them, kind of like, I don't know. It's not like being there, but I guess it's the next best thing.
Yeah. But you know what? I'm kind of glad I wasn't there, because I can make it what I want.
Yeah, I don't want to be.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I never saw the Ramones, but that's one of my favorite bands. But now I'll never see them, so I can have that.
I've seen Marky quite a few times.
Well, I saw Marky when my dad opened.
I saw Marky, but I'm saying,
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
I was like 7.
Oh man, I'm jealous.
This guy was wearing a Mad Brother Ward shirt, and I remember being like, "Hey, cool shirt," and he rolled his eyes at me. And then I was like,
fuck you, I'm his daughter.
I was like, fuck you, that's my dad. And my mom was like, what did you just say? And I was like,
See, my 11-year-old daughter right now is on a swearing spree.
Oh, no.
She loves to
it's
swear.
all downhill from here.
Yeah, but I thought she was a big Taylor Swift fan.
Did you see my post from earlier today? So
No.
My friend Chuck, hey Chuck, I haven't talked about on the podcast yet. So Chuck was talking about earlier today. He was saying, a lot of parents are mad because Taylor's new album, she swears a lot. And they're like, should our children be listening to Taylor Swift? And I was like, you know what? I curse like a damn sailor. And my daughter loves to swear. So I'm notorious for drawing a cock and balls in everyone's vehicles. If you see a cock and balls on your mirror or your back window, 100% chance it was me. We were walking to my friend's house the other day and someone drew a cock and ball on the damn sidewalk. And my 11-year-old daughter goes, look, Dad, a dick.
Well, they see all that. They see
and
all
I was
that
like, I can't. Okay, yeah, I can't say anything. I mean, I swear a lot, but she also has a cool ass battle vest like me. She loves hanging out with Dad, but I know she gets it all from me.
Yeah.
So why would I not let her listen to their new Taylor Swift albums with curse words in it when she hears that shit from me? I know I probably shouldn't swear around my kids, but I know she hears it all day long at school. Man, I know she says it around her friends, and her friends curse too. So,
man, I raised two girls, and that's a whole nother. That's a whole. You could do a 20-part podcast on this.
I know. I mean, I have two daughters, and the most one's 16. The oldest one openly swears.
Yeah,
she's like, Dad, this dude got his ass kicked at school the other day. I'm like, excuse me? She's like, he got his ass kicked. I'm like, all right, well, I guess if I was at work, I'd be saying the same thing to my buddies, so whatever. But
we would be saying, you got knocked the fuck out.
Should have been bobbing and weaving, not weaving and bobbing. Sorry, that's a reference to Friday. Anyway, so 1968, Phoenix, Arizona, Alice Cooper Group. The band was Glenn Buxton,
yeah.
See, I almost fucked that up too. Michael Bruce on keyboards, Dennis Dunway on bass, and Neil Smith on drums, right?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, cool. I got that right.
Yeah. And they're all living except Glenn.
Right. He died. Man, he died early,
it's like
though, right?
Health. I mean, I guess alcohol. I can't.
It was like 1994 or something like that.
I don't know if it was alcoholism or if it was what, but he just kind of died. I mean, and everybody's like, man, he's the first one to go. And if he was still there, I think they would play us more. I think they would actually get back together and do something.
Yeah.
But he's an integral piece of that band.
He is.
Like he wrote Schools Out. He wrote a lot of that stuff that's,
that really.
The balls of that band he wrote, and you just can't replicate that.
No,
They
chose their name through their the contrast of being villains and wearing black makeup and all that stuff. So that's where the Alice Cooper name came from. They signed with Frank Zappa's record label after a show, and it was funny because the research that I've done, I think is wrong on this. It said that Alice bit the head off a chicken. He threw it in the crowd and the audience killed the chicken.
Because he thought it could fly.
Yeah. And they couldn't. Yeah, that's that. I was like, I'm pretty sure I know that story. But after that show, that's when Frank Zappa was like, oh, wait a minute. I need to sign these guys. So Frank signed them to a 3-record deal. After the accidental killing of a chicken. The first two albums didn't do that well at all. 1969's
very psychedelic, very acid trippy.
And Easy Action 1970. Not till 1971 were Love with the Death.
Which is my favorite album, which is the reason we kind of decided to call it that.
Yeah.
Clayton, actually, we're good friends. He came up with a pretty good name, which was actually it was Kachina. He said y'all should call it Kachina and the Halo of Flies.
Okay, yeah.
Which Kachina's the snake.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Kachina's the snake. So he said,
and then our bass player said, oh, but since it's Kelsey and then us, it should be the Halo of Guys.
The Halo of Guys.
And I was pushing for that. I was like, yes, that's hilarious.
So,
which
was kind of okay. But I was like, Love It to Death's really simple. And it's got, to me, it's the album with the best songs.
It's awesome. That's a great
album. I'm like, man, it's just, it makes sense.
Even if you don't know that's Alice Cooper album name, it's still cool. A great name for a band. Yeah. Right. So 18 came out. I didn't know that was a test track that they brought out to see how it would do before the album was actually released. Yeah. So they wanted to see if it would do anything, and it did great. That was their first hit. So
and it's so much fun to play. It's just an easy,
And another track off this album, which is one of my favorite Alice Cooper songs, is "Ballad of the Dwight Fry."
Yeah, we do that with the. I've seen that. Yeah, we do that with the straight jacket and everything.
Yes, man, I gotta get out of here.
I think we play almost every song on that record, but 2 or 3, and I'd like to finish it up one day and just do the whole thing in a row.
Just do the whole album. Yeah. I'll never forget when he was doing his stuff in the '80s. I think the B-side, "The House of Fire," was the Ballad of Dwight Fry. He brought that out. He brought that back out just to put it on the B-side of that record, or that cassette single at the time. Yeah.
It's such a great song.
I always thought this would sound good on the acoustic.
Yeah.
Oh, we do it sometimes. So I sing at bars sometimes too, and I've had him come and do some acoustic songs with me, and we do that one sometimes. So
awesome.
Yeah. We do 18 and On the Women Bleed and a couple others. I'm so used to doing it with the whole band. I'm hearing that in my head.
It's a great way to plug the band too. Like, by the way, we're in Alice Cooper's review band.
Didn't Frank Zappa think he was saying something else besides
angsty? I'm angsty. That's what he thought he was saying.
Frank thought, yeah. He didn't know he was saying I'm 18, but still, it's awesome. And then after that, I think it was 1972. No, 1972. The year before I was born, my favorite Alice Cooper album came out.
Right.
Killer.
Right, which is amazing.
Man.
And we actually do Halo of Flies, which is a monster to play.
I've told this story quite a few times on the podcast, but I'll tell you. When I was a kid, probably 13 years old, my Uncle Mario gave me my first Alice Cooper album. I didn't know who he was at the time. He gave me Killer. And I was like, I was in the Zeppelin at the time.
What a start, man. What a start.
And I went home and I listened to Killer. And the song that album that stuck out to me was Dead Babies.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
But then, all the other tracks on that album, Under My Wheels.
Yeah. We started the show with that.
Oh my God, it wasn't angsty, it was edgy. Yeah. I just remembered earlier it was edgy. Because I was thinking, I love Dead Babies because I was so edgy in middle school. And I was like, wait, no, it was edgy. So anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. I just remembered that and I wanted to correct myself.
The track off that album was Desperado. So yeah.
I loved that one. That's one of the ones I downloaded from LimeWire.
I saw it when I had that record, and a friend of mine went to go meet Alice Cooper, and he got it signed for me. And then I sold it. So I lost that record. I sold it for like $100. So I was broken at the time. But I have since rebought Killer. I'm sorry. If you're gonna have any Alice Cooper album, you gotta have Killer, man. You gotta have Killer. Of course, the best of is awesome too.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it later, but Billion Dollar Babies too. That's
we do Be My Lover.
Yep.
What else? Halo of Flies. Desperado.
We do Desperado. Yeah. We're thinking about doing Dead Babies. We talked about it.
Yeah, I like to do Dead Babies too. We just haven't got that far. But
don't take things off the shelf.
I'm thinking every time we do a song now, which is kind of not fair to her. I'm thinking of what gimmick can we do. So
no, I think that's great.
I know, but it's like she can't just go up there and sing a song without holding something.
You already have babies, dead babies in the show, so
yeah.
Just pull it back out of the trash can again. There you go. Throw it in the audience.
Well, that's one thing about what we're doing. Everybody kind of knows the gimmicks, but we try to put a little twist on them. I don't remember Alice having smoking trash cans. We just try to have something just a little different.
Alice had a lot of cool. I mean, I can't say I've seen one show That was exact.
Right. It's always different.
Yeah, it's always something new. So I've seen, the big zombie Alice Cooper on stage. Yeah, he always has a snake.
That's one thing I want to pull off is a big Frankenstein somehow.
Yeah, we want to do Feed My Frankenstein. It's not the best ever song, but it would be really cool to do with
the gimmicks.
The big old Frankenstein out there.
Yeah. Feed My Frankenstein or do teenage.
Or teenage.
True.
Yeah.
True.
1972, one of his most popular tracks, School's Out.
Yeah.
Oh, we do that.
I used to play that every last day of school on the bus. And the kids, all the girls were like, "I'm sorry, can you turn this off? This is terrible." I'm like, "No, this is Alice Cooper, man.
It's such a great
School's
song.
Out." They're like,
"No, it's such a perfect rhythm."
It is. It's
like,
I feel kind of bad if it comes on at work or something. Like I'll play my playlist. If that comes on though, I have to skip it because I'm like, okay, I've had enough.
Well, we hear it so much.
Had enough of School's Out.
Yeah. There it is. Yeah. I think Alice closes out almost every set with this song. So.
I saw him open up with this one time, and it wasn't the same.
No. You know what though? Nowadays, this song really wouldn't be too acceptable. I don't think so.
Blowing up the school and stuff,
Oh well. 1973, the year I was born, $1 Billion Babies came out. At the time, it was the best-selling Alice Cooper album. Went to #1 in the UK and the USA and went platinum. 1973, man, that was 50 years ago.
I would say that's a perfect album. I mean, I don't know if it never got better than that. I mean, every song was just amazing.
You doing Elected, with the podium and the hat. I think I posted that on our page too. Of you dressed it up like the president and everything. Oh, damn it! I forgot. I've got a Alice Cooper for president button. I meant to put on my. There you go. Yeah.
I got a T-shirt where he's like Uncle Sam.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
This album also had "Hello Hooray,"
which we play.
"No More Mr. Nice Guy," which Megadeth. That's an awesome cover of for the was it the Shock Mat? Whatever
it was. Beavis and Butthead, wasn't it? Or was it one?
No, it was some
Shocker.
Shocker, yeah. And then $1 Billion Babies, of course.
Yeah, I didn't realize we did so many songs off this record.
We
do a lot of it.
Yeah.
We do Raping and Freezing too, which is kind of weird because that was not a popular one.
No. There you go.
Yeah.
This song's awesome though, man.
This is one of my favorites.
Yeah. And it's so I know this song by heart. I brought a friend to the show. Me and Brett, I told him to come today, but he didn't show up, so fuck Brett.
Jeez, guy.
Fuck Brett. Yeah. Go ahead. Everyone say fuck Brett.
Fuck Brett.
So I brought Brett to the show. He's my metal and punk rock buddy, but he didn't know Alice Cooper too much. And I sang this whole song in his ear when you were playing it that night. He was like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. I'm sorry. So that's what's, after 1974, Alice Cooper legally changed his name to Alice Cooper.
And kicked his band out.
Yeah, well.
Many stories with that.
They broke up.
Yeah.
Let's say that.
I'll never know the story, but I gotta think he's sitting there going, nobody cares about anybody in this band but me.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, it had to be a money thing.
I think it's cool that he changed his name to Alice Cooper, though.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah.
Well, I take that back. They did Muscle of Love.
No, because I was going to say, because
I forgot about that.
The people in that band at the time were all musical legends. And of course, I don't know, back then people knew the bands. So it wasn't just like a lead singer deal. Now, people knew the bands. And when they went on tour, let's say the Stones went on tour back in the 70s without Keith Richards.
Yeah.
People would say, that's not the Stones.
Yeah.
Where the hell's what's his nuts, and that's when after that, that's when Alice Cooper brought out his first solo album, Welcome to My Nightmare.
Yeah.
Which is a phenomenal album.
Man, as a guitar player, that stuff's hard to play.
Yeah.
That stuff's when it starts getting me and Barry talk about it all the time. When you're playing these songs, they do a lot of stuff the same. There's a lot of nuances that are the same, even though it's different chords. When you get to that music, man, it's like you're trying to replicate professional musician kind of stuff. It's just different. Like you can hear it there. That's like funk or something.
I was going to say, it has a funk element.
It's like it's a whole different vibe of playing guitar than they were before.
This one was so hard to sing.
It's hard.
So
It makes you completely change your
voice.
Absolutely.
So it's funny when I think anyone that owns this on vinyl, like OG copy, it's very quiet record.
Yeah,
you got to really turn it up to get the feel for it. But it's a very flat record. Mm-hmm. You don't get the full. I guess maybe the copy I have is in mono or some shit.
Well, I can see where I think it's just the musicians.
Yeah,
it's different.
There's no up and down. It's just a very flat record. But I mean, Welcome to My Nightmare.
I love that could be production
but
too.
the album's great. That's what it's weird because he just kept going. This is right.
I'll never forget when he did, and I know you might. I don't know if you the Muppet episode.
Oh yeah.
When he went on and did this, and he did the other the album. The love song too, but man,
well, that was my idea when we did it because we couldn't think of a good gimmick for Welcome to My Nightmare. Yeah, so I was like, we need Muppets.
Oh yeah,
but then I was sitting there going, there's no way to do that.
No,
I mean, looking back on when I did now, we could have put like a thing behind you and had them.
We could have.
I did notice the baby heads behind the stage.
That's funny. That was completely not planned anyway.
I was like, Brent, look, there's two heads over there. He's like, yeah. Oh, excuse me. Alice Cooper, 1976 goes, and this is when things start
getting weird
for Alice. 76, Alice Cooper Goes to Hell. Alice Cooper Show, Lace and Whiskey, 1977. From the Inside, that also had
Rick Nelson. A lot of guys played on that.
Flesh and Fashion, 1980. Zipper Catches Skin. That's a very painful album to me.
We actually do clones off Flesh to Fashion.
It's that love song.
Yeah. So there's some cool stuff on those records, but it's really it's far and few between. Yeah.
1983, 1986.
That's when it started. He lost. I was lost. A lot of that stuff.
But that's when, and I didn't realize this till later. Yeah, there are any cock rock fans out there, you might already know this. Kip Winger was the bass player for that album and Raise Your Fist and Yell.
Yeah.
And when you listen to those albums, you can hear it. You can definitely hear it.
That was Rambo. Kane,
Yeah.
It sounds different, don't it?
Teenage Frankenstein.
So I can see us pulling that off though, just with a gimmick.
Yeah, you'd have to have a good.
I would rather you guys do like.
This sounded more glam metal.
Yes, that's exactly what's going on. I'd rather you guys play like House of Fire or Bed of Nails or even Poison.
Here's the thing.
I know. Okay.
We almost called the band One Other Thing. And that was, no, we won't play Poison.
But here's the funny part. I love the song. I think I got you maybe on the on the step.
You think that?
But I can't get anybody else to even attempt to do Poison.
I love that. That is one of the ones I downloaded.
It's his comeback record.
They will not touch it.
So it was 1999, Prince of Darkness, which basically was like best of from the old shit, and then Trash happened.
Yeah, and Trash went crazy.
It did. Well, all the songs I mentioned earlier.
Trash was the last tour I saw.
Really? Okay.
That's when he brought the cans and everything.
Yeah. So when I was in high school, I want to say, I think I've told this story before. Freshman year, that was 1980. Now, freshman year, they did a lip sync contest. And, all my friends were metal and punk heads. So we did Alice Cooper Poison. Came out with the face paint on. We made drums. I had a guitar. My buddy had the bass. We were, it was all fake. We were all just up on stage doing it. But it was so awesome to do that. I mean, all we had was like some Christmas lights and a strobe light, and we went up stage.
It made you feel like $1 million.
It did, yeah. And then like the team that won did like Barry Manilow's Copacabana, and they won because they had a stage and a bar on stage. I mean, they fucking killed it. We had like wooden drums and shit on stage. So I mean,
I would love to see that actually.
The video is someplace in my man cave. If I could find it before we post this episode, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, don't bother.
No,
I'm just kidding.
It's funny.
And speaking of contests, so Trash was, like I said, was the last tour that I saw, and he was playing in Tampa. So there's a radio station in Tampa. If you picked up the most trash on the causeway, you got 2 free tickets.
That's pretty good. That's
to that
kind
show.
of a cool
thing.
Like,
oh man, that's awesome.
How do you prove all that trash came from the highway though? You can go push out of your trash can in the house.
You ever been across that causeway?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of trash down there. The album after that was one of the first CDs that I bought with my own money. Was Hey Stupid.
Yeah,
I bought it because I was always a fan of Alice Cooper. I think prior to that, I had owned like Whitesnake, but my mom bought it for me. It's some Rolling Stones and Billy Joel, but I actually bought that one with my own money. And I had friends with me that I listened to nothing but gangsta rap, and they're like, "What the fuck you buying an Alice Cooper Hey Stupid CD for?" And it came with like the big stack, the big cardboard stack. I'm like, man, it's awesome. I don't care what you guys say, it's awesome.
I still kind of dig some of that stuff. But I know we'll never play it, so I don't talk about it too much.
I would never. Yes, that'd be awesome. Hey, Steve. No, I don't even think Alice does those songs anymore.
He does.
He does.
He'll do Hey Stupid.
He does.
Oh yeah.
I know he does Feed My
Frankenstein.
Yeah. So
that's what's funny about him. He's been around so long that he like started everything and then was kind of okay and then like really following and then got really good again in the 2000s.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard
He's got a bunch of albums out currently, and I didn't go past Feed My.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, it just.
Man, there's some good stuff in the early 2000s. It's like, oh my God, yeah.
But his current band, we all know his current band, Hollywood Vampires, with Johnny Depp and Joe Perry. Who's on drums though? I don't know who's.
Oh man, I'm not sure. I think it's the same guy that plays with him now.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Right. Man, that's an awesome lineup.
Yeah.
I would love to see them. I don't think they've ever played anywhere.
Man, I was up in New York, Rome, New York, visiting my stepson, and I looked at a casino, and they were playing that night. And this was like 4 or 5 years ago. I'm like, and I didn't go. I'm like, what the hell? I mean, Johnny Depp, it's like just to see Johnny Depp playing guitar, which I don't even care about him. I was like, that'd be weird. I didn't go. I wish I'd have went.
Jack Sparrow.
You beat me to it.
I wish I'd have seen that. It's just that'd been weird.
So for first time ever on the show, we're gonna have some live music, man. Steve and
can you hear?
Yeah.
Okay. It's all right.
They're gonna play a. What song are you guys gonna play?
We're gonna keep it simple.
Okay.
We're just gonna do 18.
Okay.
Like a condensed version of it.
Okay. Go ahead. just do a verse.
Well, we can do we'll do like a minute and a half.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah.
Lines form on my face and hands. Lines form on the ups and downs. I'm in the middle without any plans. I'm a girl and I'm a man. I'm 18 and I don't know what I want. 18, I just don't know what I want. 18, I gotta get away. I gotta get out of this place. I go running and out of space again. I man's heart. Took 18 years to get this far. Don't always know what I'm talking about. Feels like I'm living in the middle of doubt. 'Cause I'm 18, I get confused every day. 18, I just don't know what to say. 18, I gotta get away. Whoa, lines form on my face and my hands. Lines form on the left and right. I'm in the middle of life. I'm a girl and I'm a male. I'm 18 and I like it. Oh, I like it. Well, I like it, love it, like it, love it. 18, 18, 18. I'm 18 and I like it.
Oh, hell yeah. That's awesome. Man, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Man, that was awesome. That was, God damn, that was awesome.
I said we was going to do like a condensed version. We did like
That was awesome.
Yeah.
We still did. We just went through it.
Hell yeah.
You guys almost brought tears to my eyes. I'm dead fucking serious.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It's okay to cry.
And Alice says it's all right. I was listening to some
I
song
never
earlier.
cry.
He was talking about. He said, "I'm done with the Detroit Lions. I like to wear makeup and dresses now." And I was like, "That's so cool, man." And I was like, it was an album that I like never really listened to, and it just happened to be playing on my way home from work. I'm like, oh, I need to hear that song again. But that was awesome.
See, I could get real deep and say, wow, he really kind of blurred the line about like gender conformity. But then, recent interviews, he said some kind of sketchy stuff. But maybe
I've heard he's like a reborn Christian or some shit like that. Yeah. So
I look at it like this, man. What a rebeller. I'm good with it. I mean,
I'm a little disappointed, and it kind of sucks because I've caught personal flack for it.
Yeah,
which is stupid, but whatever.
There are some people that need that extra thing to make them feel better about themselves. I mean, if you've been playing evil music your whole life and you want to say, you know what, maybe there is a God, and maybe if it comes to an end, maybe I am going to hell. Maybe I should, do a little something to make terror. I'm not afraid of dying. Whatever happens, happens. But, that's maybe would have been what Alice was thinking.
Yeah.
Who knows? So,
well, and that's another thing about this band. Man, I can promise you that all five of us completely think different about everything. But that is what makes it good.
Yeah, true.
I'm telling you, man, if we all agreed on, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about anything. Yeah. If we all agreed on everything, it wouldn't be as good. There's a push and pull.
Yeah. It is. It'd be boring if we all thought the same thing.
I mean, me and Barry, we're best friends. We disagree on almost everything.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
So I love it.
I
hope you guys enjoyed that. That was fun to play.
That was fun. I really
I'm so glad you guys did that, man. That was awesome. I don't know if Alice still owns his restaurant in Phoenix.
No, I think it shut down. I don't know if it was anything they did or just probably the restaurant business. It was probably COVID.
Hot dog joint, though, wasn't it? Yeah.
I always wanted to go out. See, I want to play golf with him because I like golf.
Yeah, he does play golf.
I'm like, dude, 3 hours, you're stuck with me.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't even know if I'd bug him too much. I would just probably try.
I would just
enjoy it.
Just to hang out with Alice Cooper.
Yeah, I saw him in Spartanburg. You went to that one too. We went and saw him in Spartanburg. I paid up the money to meet him, and I had heard all these stories about, you get to talk to him for so long, and he will just talk and talk and talk. It wasn't him. It was definitely Ticketmaster that was like, all right, rush. And you don't get an autograph. You don't get an autograph. It was such BS. And I paid all this money, and I was really disappointed. It was cool, though. I brought my severed head with me.
Oh.
And he held it for the picture. And I had to talk to him so fast, though. I was like, I'm in an Alice Cooper cover band. We have a working EDC. This is my severed head. Will you hold it for a picture, please? And he's like, yeah, okay. And then he was like, he there's a picture of, and he's pointing at it. He's going, that looks better than mine.
It does. It does look better than his.
I handed it to him. We took pictures, and he's holding it. But there's a table between us because it was the
COVID
man.
He was,
and now he's taking pictures right next to me.
What's
it was
weird
immediately
is like,
the tour right
it was
after.
like a year ago, right? But he was still in COVID mode.
Yeah.
I'm like, COVID's been going through
and I paid all that money.
dude.
And then there's supposed to be like
I mean,
a
he's
stage
like
tour.
almost
I
80,
didn't get
so
that
he
either.
really doesn't want to catch shit. But
But I talked her up
he
to
is,
it.
yeah.
I said, because when I met him, it was a little bit better. I talked her up to it, and then when she came out, I'm like, how was it? She was like, man, I was like, damn.
At the time, I was really disappointed. When I got the pictures back, though, I felt a lot better about it.
Well, her picture's awesome.
I was like, well, that is kind of cool. I do wish I got to talk to him longer. I wanted to show him my beheading video. I wanted him to sign my severed head. I didn't get to do any of that. And my dad was like, you should have just tried to find him at a golf course. I'm like, I'm not going to stalk the man. I'm not insane.
But you know what? That might be the best time to do it.
Before you hit that ball, can you watch the video for me?
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't about to do that. So I ponied up the money at the time.
But you got some killer posters.
Yeah, I did.
You got some crazy merch, man, out of that deal. I'm like, that's kind of worth a little bit of it, at least half
the
of it.
posters are signed, not personally, but still they're signed.
That's awesome.
But I really wanted him to sign my my severed head. But
it could happen.
Ticketmaster's a bunch of.
You might. I guarantee you'll meet him again.
Well, hopefully.
He'll be through again.
I'm not about to pay that much money again to meet him, but you know.
Yeah, you know what? I meet. I take my daughter to meet a lot of wrestlers, and it's like $80 for a picture and an autograph.
Oh, it wasn't $80.
And they're all like, "Hey, man, what's up?" And that's it. It's like, wait, no, wait. I just paid you $80, man. I want to have a conversation like we were talking about earlier. Jake, which, by the way, we didn't talk about the snake, so I would like you to.
Oh yeah, the snake.
So the snake is not yours. So if you would mind.
The snake belongs to a guy named Frankie Everett. And he's a herper, I believe. I know he's got multiple snakes. Maybe he's got other reptiles too. But he came over to band practice with a bag of snakes. I didn't know that his bags here are more snakes. I just saw the snake. Mm-hmm. I walk up on the porch because he was on the porch at the time, and I was like, "Give me." He was like, "Oh, well, if you're uncomfortable, I got these smaller snakes." And I was like, "No."
You want the big snake?
Give me the big snake. I was like, who do you think I am? But I think he probably thought, oh, well, because he didn't know my level of
the fear of snakes.
So I'm glad he came prepared. That was really thoughtful and really kind. But I was like, and I did end up holding the other snakes too afterwards because I was like, hold on the snakes. But yeah, that big snake is so cool. And actually, he was the calmest of all of them, probably because he was older and more used to being handled.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we took him upstairs and we played the whole set like with the snake, and the snake was just like, yeah, I'm cool. We only hold the snake for one song though. We hold the snake for sick things. And that is it, because you would probably lose interest after a while. Like, oh yeah, we get it. You have a snake, good for you.
The snake's I gotta go to work in the morning.
I was waiting when I saw you guys. I'm like, will she bring out a snake? Yeah. And sure as shit, you brought it. I'm like, fuck yeah. So that was awesome. I have a 4 foot long ball python I've had for like 15 years now. So she's a big snake. I almost brought her tonight to wear around my neck, but
that would have been cool.
You know what though? There are probably people at the bar that probably really freak out if they saw a snake.
I work at a bar and there's this girl who used to bring her snake. It's just a little ball python, but like
that's why. Well,
she stopped bringing it though because these people came in and they saw the snake. Okay, and it's so weird. She's at the end of the bar. Mm-hmm. At the other end of the bar, we have their to-go order wrapped up in a bag. All the food is wrapped up in tinfoil and paper, and they would not take the food. They said no. We were like, why? And they're like, because the snake. And we're like, the snake is down there, man.
Snake did not cook your food.
The snake slithered into your bag? And they made such a big deal, and they're lawyers. And I don't know. I was like, are you just trying to come up with? I don't know. It was weird, but so she stopped bringing the snake, which is sad for me because I'd be like, oh, that snake is so cool. Let me play with your snake.
Yeah, I don't think I want to play a show now without it.
It's
almost like you have to have the snake.
You have to have it.
And for at least one song, like you were saying, you gotta at least have one. So yeah.
Someone was like, "What if the snake bites you?" I'm like, "Well, then it's gonna look
awesome.
really cool. It'll look really cool.
Just as long as it's not on the mouth while I'm singing."
Yeah, that would be preferred. Yeah. The show must go on, but I would prefer, not for it to bite me at all. But if it does, oh well, that'll just be cool.
So we're going to get to the point of the show where I ask you guys about your 3 favorite cover songs. All right. I have my 3, which I bring up every show, but I want to hear from you guys. Because to me, I love cover songs. I'm a sucker for covers. So, there are some really terrible covers and there's some awesome covers out there. So what are your 3 favorite covers?
Let me go first.
Do you want me to start or do you want to go first?
Ladies.
Okay. So, all right. I've put some thought into it. First, I'm going to start with a Kiss cover song. Then She Kissed Me. I know it's kind of geeky, probably not their best ever song, but I always liked it ever since I was a little kid. I was surprised to find out later on that it was a cover. I actually had no idea because I was like,
didn't know Kiss did a cover of that.
Yeah, it's really, and it's good.
It's
I like
actually
it.
pretty good. But you kind of shocked.
Originally by the Crystals. Oh golly,
Kiss
I don't know.
Kiss Loud 2, the
I just
B-side.
remember hearing it when I was a kid, and I looked it up later on Spotify because. Yeah.
Almost everything's on Spotify. Not everything.
That one is on Spotify because I put it specifically on a playlist. But that song, I really like it. And Paul Stanley really brings something to that song. I'm just saying. Then I like also, I was really a big fan of Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush for a long time. And then I heard the placebo version of it.
Ooh, I haven't heard
a lot of other placebo stuff, but I did hear their cover of that song and I was like, oh my God. At first I was like, oh boy, yeah, sure. Yeah, Run Up the Hill, let's hear it. And then I was like, okay.
I saw them at Tremont years ago.
Yeah? Well, they have a great cover of Running Up That Hill.
They opened
it's so
for
good.
Iggy Pop.
I would love to see Iggy Pop.
It was them. I forget the other band. There's a local band. Sorry. Go ahead, though. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. No, like, and that their cover is really good.
Yeah.
It's genuinely good. I can listen to it over and over again and not get tired of it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm kind of tired of the Kate Bush one, though, because thanks TikTok, thanks Stranger Things.
That's a great song, though.
It was. The first time I heard it, I cried. I heard it and I cried. I was like, oh my God, this song is good.
Really good.
It's really good. And then it was on Stranger Things. So like, oh, cool. I love this song. And then it was like, if I never hear the song again, it'll be too soon. But the placebo version kind of like fills that void, I guess, because I can listen to that still and not be like,
It's so strange to hear these songs my 11-year-old daughter knows.
Oh God.
Because of TikTok and
Well, that's the thing, because like Stranger Things played it, and then TikTok, it became like viral on TikTok, and then I was like, oh God, I had to block the sound.
We'll be jamming out, and she'll sing along. I'm like, I don't know how you know this song. Oh, Dad, it's on TikTok.
They hear all this stuff.
Yeah.
I do kind of like that. I feel like a lot of these younger generations are kind of pulling up these older songs and like appreciating them, and I think
it's
that's
awesome,
really cool.
though. I
love
love
that.
it. Yeah.
I just wish that they had kind of
They had some brains.
left that one alone. Well, they just overdid that song, got overdone, and I was like, ugh. So my final one is I like the band Ghost a lot.
Me too.
I get clowned for it, but like, guess what? I don't care. I like them.
I'm waiting for it. Go on. Go ahead.
I like their cover of the Rocky Erickson song, If You Have Ghosts, because it's completely different than how Rocky Erickson does it, but it's still really good. And it's like they took the song and they made it their own, but it's still really good. It's almost a different song.
I love Ghost.
I do too. I really like them.
You are
love
one
their
of the
recent
few
albums,
people that I know that say that you love Ghost.
What I liked about them is I heard the first song that I heard by them that I was like, it was Rats, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay,
and I was like, this doesn't sound like a newer song. And so I kind of did a little deep dive on them, and I was like, okay.
I like them because they sound like Blue Oyster Cult. I mean, which is one of my favorite bands.
That's what a lot of
they do.
People, I see. I don't hear that.
Man, I'm telling you, they
resemblance at all.
That's that first album, I think.
Yeah,
that has some of those vibes.
It's just a real low key rock vibe.
I think I like the theatrical satanic
that
feel
too. That too. They had that Catholic thing, and I got this thing about Catholic imagery. So I was like,
I was baptized Catholic, so it's kind of like the Church of Satan. And
you got that Catholic trauma, and it just
it's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, man, I was kind of cramming a little bit when she told me about the cover songs.
Yeah.
But I'm going to completely change it.
Go ahead,
because it hit me. We're both. I'll be 50 in a couple weeks, so we're both 50.
Yeah.
Man, Garage Days. I'm just gonna do Garage Days for my whole pick.
Original album or the new one?
I'm just talking about the songs on it. I mean, that introduced me to the Misfits.
Yep.
That introduced me to
last
Killing
Caress.
Joke. I mean,
Killing Joke.
It's like
the weight.
Looking back on it,
I was going to add that one this week.
Yeah,
well,
I was going to say, like, You Really Got Me by Van Halen. It's just, I grew up on that stuff. But man, that album put the Misfits in the stratosphere.
It did.
I mean, if Cliff Burton would have had our band tattooed on Everybody Love Us, I mean, it was what was here.
Right.
So it's like that album, man, and they picked those perfect songs.
They did.
Perfect. And two Misfits songs.
It was Misfits,
Green Hill,
Motorhead, and
what was Killing Joke? I mean,
Killing Joke, and
they had Diamond Head.
Crash Course and Brain Surgeries on that too, man.
Which is perfect, man.
One of my favorite metal covers.
When you hear that, you're like, you were a little younger, but when you heard that, then it was like, we thought that was Metallica.
Right. Yeah.
You had
we didn't know because we didn't have
you had to actually read the thing to go, that's not them.
That was the Garage Day.
Yes, but you didn't have the internet to go find the other shit. You had to go actually look in the record store.
Dude, I still own that original copy on vinyl.
Yeah.
I have them both. I have the new one and their old one.
I'm not sure there's something that's better than that as far as in my age group that kicked us into another realm.
Yeah. And it really, at the time when that album came out, like friends came over, and I've talked about this with Mike Phillips before. My first punk album was Misfits AD. Mm-hmm. And at the time, I didn't put 2 and 2 together. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Because it's not like it is now. We couldn't just go listen to it. But, you pop on that tape and you're like, wait a minute. This is a Metallica song. Yeah. You're like, oh, no. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was wrong. This is... The whole album was all covers. Yeah. We didn't even know back then. But it was awesome. Yeah, that was a great album.
And I'll wrap it up by saying I was in a lot of original bands for many years, which I respect the shit out of that.
Yeah.
But man, at my age now, give me playing my favorite music with a built-in 50, 60, 70 people crowd. I'm good with it. Yeah. It's like, I can't go down that road anymore of original.
Yeah.
Give me some covers and just, I'm good. Yeah. I'll still support other bands, but man, as far as what we do, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
I mean, and people have varying opinions about that, but that's where I stand on it.
Yeah.
I love not having to write songs.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, you do Alice Cooper songs phenomenal.
I was going to say, if it's done well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I have heard some terrible covers and I've heard some great covers.
So. Man, I'm telling you, she's a star. She don't know it sometimes, but she is.
Yeah.
Y'all saw it. You saw it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Ernest, you got 3.
Now you've heard you're a star and perfect.
I try to I always feel like because I'm playing with these guys. I've been doing music for a long time and doing lots of bands, and they're all really good. And then I feel like I just came in here like, hello, I've been in one band and they were what it was. And I'm just like, I feel like in my head, and nobody's made me feel this way, but I'm like, I'm pulling my weight. I better pull my weight. But like, they're always like, yeah, you're doing great. And I'm like, oh, am I? Thank you. I don't know. Like,
that's awesome.
Yes.
I'm always going to try to do my best. And,
you do.
I don't know. I want to deserve to do what I'm getting to do. It's a privilege. It's an honor. And I love it so much.
Nice.
Man, thank y'all for having us.
Yeah, thanks for coming out.
Ernest, what?
You got 3 songs or no?
Oh, I didn't go.
That's all right. We're not done.
I got to hear yours.
We're not done.
Well, I mean, Last Caress was going to be one of them.
See, we're dead on.
Right, so I got to do something. I got to do something for my dad. So I knew he's been asking me to do a segment on this band and song for a while for the podcast. And I knew if he was going to listen to any podcast episode, it'd be the Alice Cooper episode because he's from Detroit. He's born in the 60s, so I know he would do that. So my 3 songs, and I just have to do it. And it's not till the 3rd song for him. Joey Ramone's What a Wonderful World.
Yeah.
The Deftones do a whole cover album, and they do a cover of The Cars Drive, which if you listen to it, you probably slit your wrist afterwards. It's very sad, but it's an excellent, excellent cover. And he sent me a YouTube video of the band called the Cleverleys, which do country redneck versions of like whacked out 80s songs. So they do. Ernest, can you find the Cleverleys cover of the B-52's Love Shack? You gotta hear it.
Hey, I thought you said we weren't going to play any of these.
I said we weren't going to play them all.
You said we weren't going to play all the Alice Cooper songs. You didn't say anything about playing his covers.
We're going to play. I mean, you got time.
It's like a band practice. I got just kind of morphs into something else. More.
So I don't know. If
okay, what am I looking for?
The Cleverleys.
Cleverleys.
Love Shack. It's
it's a little place where we can get together.
It is.
You better bring your jukebox money now.
While he's trying to find that, the Hollywood Vampires do a whole album of covers too.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you heard what Ernest was playing earlier. He does they do a cover of people who died, and they do a David Bowie cover of Heroes. So
which is great.
Which is it doesn't sound like Alice.
Yeah.
No, I didn't think it was. It was crazy.
It's Alice, yeah. So Alice changes shit up to.
I think he's actually getting his rocks off through the Vampires.
He's
kind of going through the motions with the Cooper stuff.
He's been playing the same shit.
He's able to kind of do what he wants with that.
Yeah.
Which and again, Johnny Depp's a good guitar player, but he doesn't. Everybody's just going to go, that's Johnny Depp. They're not going to give him any kind of.
Have y'all ever been to Disney World and the Pirates of the Caribbean? Yeah. Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
And I've heard from time to time he'll show up and just
do it.
Take the place of one of those animatronics and come out there and scare people.
Edward Scissorhands is one of my favorite movies.
It is, yeah. I love all my wife would if Johnny Depp walked in her room when she's in her room, I'm toast. It's over. It's over.
Mine's Sam Elliott.
Can you find it there, Ernest, or no? Here you go. Hold on. My dad does not like country. He doesn't like any of this shit, but he is in love with this band.
I get that. Yeah. Little old place where we. See, I got the accent. I don't have to try.
But all this stuff. So when he first sent me this, I thought it was Les Claypool and like a joke band.
Yeah.
And for those who've not listened to the podcast, Les Claypool, Primus, and so many other bands. But I was like, wow,
I don't think I've ever heard him with the banjo, though.
I have. So, yeah, he does the Fearless banjo. Well, there's fucking stickers all over the fucking table of that shit. But, yeah, the Fearless Frog, whatever it is.
That's Dave's favorite band.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So, I mean, I saw them at the Fillmore, and they did a cover of...
that's Dave's favorite band.
They did a cover of the English beat, Save It for Later, in a banjo
like Julia
cover.
Lennon.
Yes. And Sean.
Or Sean Lennon,
I'll never forget. I'm standing there. I'm watching Les, and I'm like, that's Sean Lennon right next to him.
John Lennon's freaking kid.
And that was like, no one knows. I'm like, that's fucking Sean Lennon.
Yeah, that's what
right there. He's standing right in front of you guys. No one even knows that's Sean Lennon.
His dad is arguably the biggest rock and roll star ever.
I was like, I was starstruck.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, there's Les Claypool, but there's Sean Lennon right fucking next to him. So yeah, it was awesome, man. I got some pictures on my
that's
Facebook
cool.
page. Anyways, thank you guys for coming on the show.
Get his three real quick.
Well,
I know you said one.
He had said it was Garage Days, right?
Well, you said Green Hell. What was the other two?
I
just had to hear him.
Yeah.
Let's see. I do Dancing in the Streets by Van Halen.
I'm with
you.
There
you go.
Like I said, I didn't think about this. I'll go back to my number one last episode. All Along the Watchtower.
I'll get you.
Which is a cover that they didn't know was a cover. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah. So,
well, I will say it now then. Thank you so much for having us.
Yes, thank you so much.
Coming on, guys. Thank you
so much for being on.
Educating us some more on Alice Cooper. Go Detroit. Go, Phoenix, Arizona, whatever. Thank you guys for coming on the show. It was great, man.
And I'll say one thing. Love It to Death on Facebook is like our only thing that we have. Okay. So search it up and click it on or whatever you got to do it.
Any upcoming shows?
We have a show in October at a brewery that we'll be posting about, but we're taking a little break now because our other guitar player, Andy, they're having a baby.
Okay.
So we're kind of in a lull mode, with that.
Yeah.
So this year is going to be maybe one or two shows, but we're going to try to kick it back next year.
All right. Are there any new shows you guys are going to add into the show? I mean, songs you're going to add into the show, or is it
Poison?
No.
That is.
Hey, how about
to be determined? Yeah. We have some ideas, but
I want to do a Frankenstein theme kind of thing. But
I would love to do that.
Yeah,
that's going to depend on if we can build that Frankenstein monster, though.
You have to have it if you do that.
Yes, exactly. We're not doing it without it.
Right. All right, guys. Thank you for coming on. Good night. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
That was fun.
A huge shout out to our gracious host, Tommy's Pub. Located at 3124 Eastway Drive, Tommy's Pub is a small neighborhood bar that's big on music and community. Go to Tommy's Pub's Facebook page where they regularly provide updates about upcoming events to include weekly open mic night, karaoke, and live music from some of the best up-and-coming bands in the Queen City. Thank you, Tommy's Pub, for hosting ImVibes Podcast.
Thank you for listening to ImVibes Podcast, home of good music, good libations, and good vibes. Please rate, and subscribe to ImVibes Podcast on your favorite listening platform. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, consider supporting ImVibes Podcast with a small monthly donation to help sustain future episodes. You can find the link on our Spotify show page. Email us at imvibespodcast@gmail.com if you would like to be a guest or have an idea for a guest we should interview. ImVibes Podcast is produced by BWM Productions.
Opinions and views expressed by guests are not necessarily the opinions or views of the ImVibes team or BWM Productions.